Women of a certain age should cut their hair short, keep it neat, appropriate, age-fitting. That's what we've been told. But have you ever paused to ask, appropriate for whom? For yourself or for a standard written decades ago by someone who never knew you? What if the question wasn't, is this hairstyle right for my age? But instead, does this feel right for who I am today? Maybe long hair isn't about holding on to youth. Maybe it's about honoring the woman you've become, your strength, your memories, your quiet confidence. In this video, we'll gently unravel the old rules and rewrite the narrative together. Because long hair after 50 isn't a mistake. It might just be a personal legacy in motion. If that message resonates with you, consider subscribing to Chic Over 50, where we celebrate timeless beauty, personal expression, and the elegance of every stage of life. Now, let's begin by asking, where did this idea even come from that long hair doesn't belong past a certain birthday? Part 1. The Silent Rulebook, Why Long Hair Was Quietly Banned After 50. Have you ever wondered why so many women in this season of life suddenly switched to short hair almost like clockwork after a certain birthday? Was it really a personal style decision, or just something we were quietly taught to do not too long ago? Turning 50 didn't just mean celebrating another year, it often meant stepping into a new role, one where you were expected to dress modestly, speak softly, act gracefully, and yes, cut your hair. From the 1950s through the 1970s, society painted a very clear picture of what mature beauty should look like. Neatly styled curls, cropped bobs, and close-to-the-neck haircuts became the unofficial standard for older women. Magazines praised these looks as elegant. Stylists called them practical. And everyone seemed to agree. Short hair meant you were aging the right way. But long hair, that was a different story. Long hair was for the young, the wild, the free. It symbolized flirtation, softness, maybe even rebellion. A woman over 50 with flowing hair down her back. People didn't always say it out loud. But the message was clear. That wasn't appropriate. It looked like she was trying too hard, refusing to accept her age. And so, quietly, many of us cut it off. But here's the truth I've heard, again and again, from women I've styled, women I've had coffee with, and women who simply opened up in conversation. Most didn't want to. They just felt like they had to. I'll never forget Marilyn. She was in her early 60s when I first met her at a neighborhood event. Her silver gray hair was cut short, tucked neatly behind her ears. We were chatting about self-expression when she smiled and said, "You know, I haven't worn my hair long since my husband told me it made me look silly. He'd passed away years ago, but she still carried that voice with her, one that had shaped her image of what was allowed." And Marilyn isn't alone. Stories like hers come up more often than you'd expect. Women like Susan in Virginia, who always loved braiding her hair but stopped after her sister-in-law said it was too girlish. Or Linda from Arizona, who chopped her hair the week she turned 50 because, in her words, that's just what women do, right? But why? Who decided that beauty had an expiration date or a haircut to match? The truth is, these rules didn't come from inside us. They came from generations of quiet expectations. From stylists, magazines, family members, people who meant well, maybe, but never stopped to ask what we actually wanted. So let me ask you now, have you ever changed your appearance, your hair, your clothes, your style because someone told you it was time? If you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. As we begin to question these old ideas, we open up space for something new. And that leads us to a question I hear all the time. Does long hair actually make us look older, or is that just another outdated myth? Let's explore that next. Part 2. Does long hair really make you look older? They say long hair ages you, but have you ever stopped to ask whose standard are we using? And more importantly, is it really the length or something else entirely? Let's get one thing straight. Long hair doesn't make anyone look older by default. What does create that impression is how the hair is worn. Think of hair like fabric. It can drape, shape, soften, or weigh you down, depending on how it's cut and cared for. When I talk with women in this season of life, especially those rediscovering their style, I often hear, "Will my long hair make me look tired?" My answer's simple. It's not about the length. It's about the life in it. Long hair that's dry, flat, or shapeless can feel heavy not just physically, but visually. If there's no layering, no movement, no light catching on the strands, it can drag you down. But when long hair is healthy, softly layered, and has a gentle shine, It does the opposite. It adds softness. It lifts the whole face. It even creates a sense of motion that brings energy back into your look. Picture two women, both in their 60s. One wears her hair long, but it's limp, dull, and cut straight across. The other wears her long hair with shaped subtle waves, face-framing layers, maybe a silvery tone that catches the sunlight. They both have long hair, but only one looks radiant. The difference isn't age. It's intention. It's a lot like wearing a dress. A well-tailored piece brings out your best features at any age. But if it's shapeless or outdated, it adds years not because of your body, but because of how it fits. Hair is no different. I've seen women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s absolutely glow with long hair. Not because they're trying to look younger, but because they're styling their hair in a way that feels current, elegant, and personal. Sometimes it's just a matter of trimming the ends, adding a few soft layers, or choosing a tone that flatters their skin. Color can make a big difference. 2. Healthy silver hair in waves or a chic ponytail can be stunning. So can warm browns, honey blondes, or cool ash tones, whatever feels most like you. The key is harmony between your hair, your skin tone, and your natural presence. If you've been questioning your long hair, maybe it's not about whether it's too much or too long. Maybe the better question is, am I wearing it in a way that still brings me joy? And if you've ever had that experience where a simple change, maybe a soft fringe, a deep conditioning treatment, or just a new way of parting your hair suddenly made you feel more alive, I'd love to hear about it. Because hair is personal, and in the next part, we're going to talk about just that, the emotional connection we have with our long hair. For many women, it's not just a look, it's part of our story, and that story deserves to be honored. Part 3. Long hair and personal history, when hair is more than just hair. Have you ever brushed your hair and suddenly remembered a moment from decades ago, a scent, a season, a younger version of yourself smiling in the mirror? That's the thing about hair. It isn't just strands. It's memory. It's identity. It's one of the few parts of our bodies that grows with us through every chapter. I've heard so many women say, it's just hair, but the emotion in their voice tells a deeper story. Because your hair has been there through it all: first dances, summer loves, long nights with babies in your arms, laughter with grandkids, moments of loss, moments of becoming. Through every transformation, it was there. Maybe it changed. Maybe it was cut or colored, but it was yours. I remember talking with Diane, a woman in her mid-60s who hadn't worn her hair long since her early 30s. One day, after years of keeping it short, she decided to let it grow again. When it finally reached her shoulders, she stood in front of the mirror, ran her fingers through it, and cried. She didn't cry because she looked younger. She cried because she felt more like herself. "It's like I found a part of me I forgot," she said. That feeling, it's not vanity, it's recognition. Long hair, for many women, isn't about chasing youth. It's about reconnecting with something real, a softness, a freedom, a version of you that never went away but maybe got tucked aside for a while. Sometimes, when the world tells us to act our age, what it really means is shrink, quiet down, be less visible. But long hair says otherwise. Long hair says, I'm still here. It's a quiet defiance, a personal declaration. I don't have to let go of what I love about myself just because the calendar flipped another year. And that's something I've seen in so many women, this sense that long hair is their story, still unfolding. The braid you wear today might echo the one your mother used to tie when you were little. The silver strands you embrace now might remind your granddaughter of a fairy tale queen. These details matter. So maybe the real question isn't, should I keep my hair long? Maybe the better question is, what does this hair still mean to me? What part of my life, my memory, my essence does it carry? In the next section, we'll get practical. Because even though the emotional bond is powerful, long hair also needs the right shape and texture to flatter your face, your features, and your lifestyle. Let's talk about how to make long hair work beautifully for you. Part 4. Face shape, hair texture, and the styles that truly work after 50. Have you ever tried a haircut that looked amazing on someone else, but didn't feel quite right on you? That's because the most flattering style is the one that suits you, your face shape, your hair texture, and your natural energy. Let's start with face shape. If you have a round face, long hair with soft layers helps create length and balance. Stay away from chin-length cuts that can make the face appear fuller. For an oval face, you've got flexibility. Most styles work beautifully. Add soft bangs, subtle waves, or highlights to personalize your look. If your face is square, go for movement soft waves. Feathered ends or loose curls help soften a strong jawline. Avoid styles that are too straight or blunt. With a long or narrow face, it's all about adding width. Face framing layers, side-swept bangs, or curls near the cheekbones can bring everything into harmony. Now let's talk texture. If your hair is fine, long layers add body without heaviness. A light mousse and a round brush can create just enough lift to frame the face gently. For curly or coarse hair, keeping length can help weigh curls down and reduce frizz. Moisture is key. Use leave-in conditioners and get regular trims to maintain shape. And if your hair is silver or gray, don't hide it, enhance it. Cool tones in makeup and clothing can make silver shine. I've seen women absolutely glow with long gray waves paired with soft lipstick and a bit of shimmer. When it comes to color, think light reflecting shades, silver blonde, platinum, or cool chestnut all complement mature skin beautifully. Even subtle highlights can add life and softness. The most beautiful long hairstyles after 50 aren't about copying trends. They're about choosing with intention styles that feel good, flatter your features, and express your personality. Hair doesn't have to be complicated to be elegant. Sometimes, one small change like a soft fringe or the right layering can make you feel more like you. Have you ever had that kind of hair moment, one that made you feel seen again? Share it, I'd love to hear. Next, let's talk about keeping long hair healthy. Because while it doesn't have to be high maintenance, it does need the right kind of care. Let's explore that together. Part 5. Long hair after 50, from the salon to your bathroom sink. Ever felt like long hair is just too much to manage at this stage in life? You're not alone. But the truth is, long hair after 50 doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs consistency. In fact, I've seen women with the most graceful, flowing hair follow routines that are surprisingly simple. It's not about spending hours in front of a mirror. It's about small habits, done regularly, that keep your hair strong, soft, and full of life. Here are 7 things I've seen work wonders. What's it? Use a sulfate-free shampoo. As we age, our scalp produces less natural oil. Sulfates, those foamy cleansers, can strip away too much moisture. A gentle, moisturizing shampoo helps your hair retain its softness without feeling greasy. Deep condition once a week. Our ends take the most wear and tear. A rich conditioning mask, focused on mid-lengths and ends, helps prevent split ends and adds back the shine. 3. Massage your scalp. A minute or 2 of gentle scalp massage can improve circulation, encourage growth, and relieve stress. It's a small habit that makes a big difference, especially when done before bed or during your shower. Fusser, trim every 6 and 8 weeks. Even if you're growing your hair out, regular trims keep split ends from traveling upward. It keeps your style fresh and your hair looking intentional, not tired. Pacha, limit heat styling. Long hair doesn't need daily curling or straightening. If you want waves, try heatless rollers or braid your hair overnight. When you do use heat, always protect your strands with a thermal spray. 6. Detangle from the bottom up. Start at the ends and work upward using a wide-tooth comb or a soft boar bristle brush. It's gentler on the hair shaft and prevents unnecessary breakage. 7. Feed your hair from the inside. A balanced diet rich in protein, healthy fats, and omega-3s can strengthen your strands from the root. Many women notice a real difference when they stay hydrated and nourish their body well. What matters most isn't how fancy your products are, it's how regularly you show your hair a little care. Long hair doesn't need to be high maintenance. It just needs maintenance. A little bit each day, done with intention, is more powerful than any quick fix. Have you found a hair care habit that made a big difference for you? Something simple, but transformative. I'd love to hear what's worked in your routine. Next, we'll step away from techniques and talk about something more personal. The women who've chosen to keep their long hair and why it's become part of who they are. Their stories might just remind you of your own. Part 6. The women who wear their long hair like a personal statement. Have you ever seen a woman walk by her silver braid swinging behind her and thought, that's exactly who she is? Long hair, for many women over 60, isn't just a style choice. It's a reflection of their journey, a quiet, powerful way of saying, I've lived, I've loved, and I'm still fully myself. Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 72 and lives in Oregon, tucked between pine trees and wildflower fields. She wears her long silver hair in a thick braid that trails down her back like a ribbon of moonlight. She once told me, "This braid has seen every season of my life. I'm not ready to cut it, and I'm not sure I ever will." Eleanor dresses in soft cotton layers and earthy tones, always barefoot in her garden, always with a scarf tied at her wrist. Her hair isn't just beautiful, it's part of her presence. Natural, grounded, strong. Then there's Lisa. She's 67, a retired nurse from North Carolina. For over 30 years, she kept her hair short, practical, she used to say, for work. But after retiring, she let it grow, slowly, softly. Today, she wears long chestnut layers with a side-swept bang, and she's never looked more radiant. She pairs her hair with soft blouses, statement earrings, and a bright lip color that brings out her eyes. "I didn't grow it to feel younger," she said. "I grew it to feel like me again." And Janine, she's 75, a grandmother of 6, living just outside of San Diego. Her grandkids call her the fairy tale queen. She wears her long white hair loose, with gentle waves and a silk turban on sunny days. Her go-to outfit, a wide-neck linen dress, dangling earrings, and a knowing smile. "When I saw her last," she said, "I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just finally comfortable taking up space." And that's the thing. Long hair after 60 isn't about holding on to the past. It's about honoring the whole of who you are. Every chapter, every wrinkle, every moment that brought you to now. Women like Eleanor, Lisa, and Janine don't wear long hair because they're afraid of aging. They wear it because they've earned the right to look and feel however they choose. Their hair tells a story and people remember it. You can almost picture them. Can't you? Have you known a woman whose long hair seemed to express exactly who she was? Or maybe you've become that woman yourself. I'd love to hear your story. In our final part, we'll bring everything together, because at the heart of this journey, it's never really been about the hair, it's been about the woman wearing it. So maybe the question was never about how long your hair is. Maybe it's about how true it feels. If your reflection in the mirror still makes you smile, if your long hair feels like a part of your story, then hold on to it with pride. It's not about youth. It's about you. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful, seen, and fully herself, at any age, in any season, with any style she chooses. We hope this video reminded you that your hair isn't just something you wear, that it's something you live in. If you have a story about your hair, we'd love to hear it in the comments below. Your words might just inspire someone else to feel brave, beautiful, and free. And if this message speaks to your heart, subscribe to Chic Over 50 for more videos that celebrate you, just as you are. We'll see you in the next one.